Really glad to be here. Second, maybe the third time going around for comedy. But the thing is, they didn't specify what 70s meant and which century it was. So now that I know it's Woodstock and it's 70s style, I'm just gonna. Anyways, let's start off with something simple here. Let's talk about family, right? A little bit of love with the family. So, recent news, my brother finally landed a good job of his.
Yeah.
Woo.
And, thank you. So, he calls me over the phone and he's like, Bryson, I'm so happy. I'm like, why are you happy? He says, I got a job. I'm like, I'm glad you got a job, but where is it? He's like, well, after I was down in the recording studio, I went out and found this place called the Blue Danube. I'm like, all right, the Blue Danube. That sounds fun. He's like, here's what I do for a living. And I'm like, for a living? Dude, you just started your job. You can't say you're living as soon as you start. Hey, that's just me. So that's one happy news for the family. Anyways, recently I went to Vegas for spring break, and I saw one of my favorite comedians on my shirt, Tom Segura. But that wasn't the highlight of the trip. The highlight of the trip was appreciating comedy, but also being able to get some material while I was out there in Vegas. And like most family, Vegas, I view Vegas as that weird uncle at every family function, the one that shows up like 10 years after being absent for so long, the one that's like in and out of rehab, the one that's in there for an AA meeting and then they skip out, just go drink Jack Daniels. Vegas is a very interesting place. It's the one where it's like, when you're young, you're like, oh, this guy's so cool. And as soon as you get older, oh shit, he's a fucking deadbeat. So, okay, I'm saying this right now. The Vegas Strip. Show of hands. At any age, have you guys went to Vegas and walked down that strip before?
Yep.
Right, yeah, I see a few. I appreciate all of you, but over the years it turned into no man's land. And one thing I noticed was these guys in these hoodies passing out these, basically, how can I put it, adult cards. The ones I'm talking about, like the ones that you see on the street, and you're like, oh, I gotta keep walking. I can't stare at this. So, and every single one of them has that same thing where it's just, and they snap the cards wanting you to take it, and it is a copy and paste of the same person. I'm talking foreign guy wearing a tie, like a big bright highlighter hoodie, just so everybody knows where they're at. And then all of them are like not speaking to you at all. They just say, take, just take. You want some? Come on. I don't know what the quota is there, but anyways, collecting those cards, I didn't do that personally, but it's like the adult version of Pokemon. You want every single one of them, every variety. Get some V-Stars, get whatever you want. And Vegas is an interesting place. Every time you go in there, like say for example, like going to the Venetian, like that one shopping center area over there. I am happy to say I'm glad I'm not rich, because every time I walk over there and I see the amount, I see Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all that shit, and I'm like, wow. Fuck, window shopping's fun, But there's not a lot of things that you can do in Vegas when you're 19 like me. You can't drink, you can't gamble, you can't party. All that you can do is walk around, get blisters on your feet, and out of nowhere, you just get a scratch-off lottery ticket because you're above 18. You can get that, but you can't, go to the slot machines. Can't do that. Alrighty. Moving on. I will also say this: Vegas is kind of like the wine aunt that you get, the one that's been married to the weird uncle. And I see people that look like wine ants every time I go into a casino. I'm talking, they have a Fat Tuesdays cup, wasting their 401k, hitting the slots. Nothing else. Blackjack table can go fuck itself. But the worst part about this trip, and I'm saying this for real, is staying at the hotel and casino called the Orleans. The Orleans is off the Vegas Strip, and over the spring break, all the hotels overcharge their rooms. I'm telling you this, like the Bellagio, it would cost $350 for a normal night. Vegas, like on spring break, you're looking at $1,000. So, New Orleans was $350. I'm guessing that the rooms cost $50 for normal weeks. And the ventilation units in there, don't even get me started on the ventilation. I am telling you this straight up. When I went to the Cosmopolitan, I saw a guy smoking a cigar, didn't even smell it. They just up the air vents, nothing. But every time I'm in the Orleans and I see a smoker, I can inhale their 3 years worth of lung cancer. And every time I step foot on that casino floor, every time it's like just clumps of cigarette dust and ash just coating my fucking shoes. Like I'm telling you, like I had to wipe off a little bit with like one of those like shitty like plastic wraps that you get at the hotel room just to go get ice. I wipe it. It went from clear to opaque in a second. I can't tell you how much I love and hate Vegas. The only upside was me going to the Rainforest Cafe. Have you been to the Rainforest Cafe? Yes. The Rainforest Cafe is amazing. You get you get food. I'm not saying amazing food. You get food. And then you just enjoy the atmosphere of a rainforest, and every 20 minutes there's a fucking thunderstorm that just throws you off your meal. But this time around I didn't get any like actual meal there because we were going to see Segura like as soon as we got into that place. So we get the volcano. My parents, they remember when the volcano, like that dessert, lit on fire. And they're like, they're disappointed when it comes out. It's just like a dainty little thing with like tinfoil things on it. And they're just like, where's the fire? Where is this? And I'm like, Mom, settle down. There's something called a safety hazard. And I understand where you're coming from. Like, yes, I would love to see the spectacle of fire. At the same time, I don't want to fringe my hairline. I don't want the idea of me having no eyebrows for the rest of the trip to be it. Anyways, family is a good memory, and going on the trip was fun either way. You can see 40-year-old ladies at another bridesmaid. When you see the bachelorette parties out there, I actually found the place where they made the sash. The sash is hilarious to think about because they know how many bachelorette parties come through that place. It is just one after the other. Just bring them in. Oh, you need vodka and smoothie? Oh, come in. And you can see the matter of fact of most of those trips is that their marriage is not going to last. Because I'm pretty sure the bride-to-be will be in a male sandwich with the people from Thunder Down Under that still perform there. And they still have that wine aunt that's dragging behind that is too wasted to go. And I saw this happen on the strip. They are walking across the road, right? Which, terrifying to do while you're in Vegas because you can either get hit by a sports car or B, an SUV. And I saw it happen with like this girl is super wasted. I'm talking hammered to the point where she is actually nailed to the floor. But she is still a true soldier, you know. She reached into her bag to replace her stilettos with flip-flops. She is a veteran at this. She knows when she had enough. As soon as she's like, just taking off her shoes, she puts her motherfucking slides on, and then she goes walking with the group again. Honestly, one of the highlights of that trip as well. Also, another thing I noticed, Uber drivers. Use them back when I went to Philadelphia last summer. Oh wait, no, not last summer, but last spring break. Uber drivers can be one of two things. A, silent and stoic. They have this face of concentration and focus that I cannot keep a straight face with. I'm like, dude, listen. I understand that this is your side hustle, but you don't have to look like you're going to Mordor with like fucking taking us to goddamn Mordor with that face of yours. You cannot take this seriously. Like, please, let's have a conversation. And plus, you can't have a conversation with him because he speaks fluent Russian. You can't speak jack shit to these people. And as soon as you try to have a nice conversation, they're like, no. They only learn English from the radio. And it is hard for me to understand them. Like I'm telling you, the first one that we took, this Uber driver trusted us. I'm talking real trust here. You know what she did? So when we get to the Uber, open up the passenger door on the right side. We enter, we see a phone. The phone is not hers. So she's like, I don't want to call Uber. Let's go to the place where where I dropped her off. Takes us to an Irish pub that's just across the street. And here's the fucked up part that I love and also am fucking terrified of. She got out of the car. The Uber driver that's supposed to stay with the car got out of that thing with me, my mom, and my dad, all in the passenger seats. And she's like, wait here, I'm gonna go inside. And it is one of those experiences where it's like, they trust us. We've known them for fucking 30 seconds. And they trust us with their car. She comes out, you know, she's all hanging her head low, disappointed. And she couldn't find the person. This was, mind you, St. Patrick's Day. Irish pub, St. Patrick's Day. She's probably at the bar right now. You know. Get in the car, drive over to the strip, drop us off. It's all fine and dandy. And then when I mentioned the stoic guy that looked like he was going to take us to Mordor or like any other of those fantasy places, he was our ride back. I cannot tell you the amount of camping that these Uber drivers do. I'm not saying Call of Duty camping. I mean they are waiting outside at the valet area, ready to pick you up. And I'm just thinking about the rotation of this thing. Like this person is like a second away. What's up? Oh, almost done. Okay. Anyways, I'll finish this up real fast. I'll do a quick hot take for you. All right. Let everybody vote. I mean everybody. And I know you're meaning like kids and stuff. Yes, let them vote. Here's why. We'll have a test for them. And the test will only be 3 questions. Do you like their policy? Number 2, do you like their policy? Number 3, do you like their policy? The real kicker is they're all different theirs. So we'll point out the weak points of our country through that spelling alone and let Facebook decide who their person will be when they vote. You guys have been fantastic. Quick shout out. Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here. And